Did Trump really think Frederick Douglass was still alive? And what's with his obsession over crowd sizes? Have you ever wondered what happens when you mix a comedian, a former president, and a whole lot of crazy? Well, Bill Maher's latest takedown of Donald Trump is like watching a master chef cook up the world's spiciest political gumbo. From inauguration crowd sizes to invisible planes, we're diving deep into the wild world of Trump's most bizarre claims. Buckle up, Buttercup. This ride is going to make your head spin faster than Trump's excuses. But before we get into the chaos, I have a small favor to ask. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, let's get back to the madness. Trump's inauguration crowd meltdown. A toddler's tantrum in politics. Remember when Trump threw a temper tantrum over his inauguration crowd size? It was like watching a toddler insist they didn't raid the cookie jar while sporting a chocolate-smeared grin. Our favorite orange-tinted former president just couldn't accept that his party wasn't the biggest bash in town. Picture this, January 20th, 2017. Trump's big day. He's all puffed up, ready to make America great again. But there's just one teeny tiny problem. The National Mall looks emptier than Trump's promises. Cue the meltdown. Trump, being Trump, couldn't let it slide. Oh no, he had to make a mountain out of a molehill. Or in this case, a massive crowd out of a handful of people. He sent his trusty sidekick Sean Spicer to battle it out with reporters. Poor Spicy. Sweating bullets, trying to convince everyone that their eyes were playing tricks on them. Bill Maher, never one to miss a chance to roast Donny Diapers, had a field day with this one. He compared Trump's crowd-size fib to a kid caught red-handed, saying it was like arguing with a toddler who swears they didn't eat the cookies while their face is covered in crumbs. And boy, did that hit the nail on the head. But here's the kicker. This wasn't just a one-day controversy. Trump kept harping on about it for weeks. While the rest of the country was worried about, actual issues, Trump was obsessing over who had the bigger crowd election lies and the wild goose chase of Trump supporters. And then, of course, there's the infamous election fraud conspiracy. Trump tried to overturn the 2020 election through the courts. He tried to do it through state legislatures. He even tried to intimidate Mike Pence. He attempted to use the Justice Department. They even talked about seizing voting machines. Multiple people around him, people in his inner circle, told him that he lost. Even Bill Barr, his own attorney general, made it clear. But that didn't stop Trump from pushing his narrative. And now, his supporters are going to extreme lengths to prove that his campaign, based on pure delusion, is somehow true. Trump supporters are literally on a wild goose chase, trying to prove a Facebook meme is real. They're going to bizarre lengths to validate Trump's fantasy. The irony. Apparently, it's not illegal to lie to the American people. And lie, he did. He spread falsehoods about migrants, calling them rapists and saying they bring drugs. Of course, he added. And some, I assume, are good people. Bill Maher, in his classic no-holds-barred style, pointed out that this wasn't just comedy gold. It was a glimpse into Trump's malignant narcissism. Fancy words for saying Trump's ego is more fragile than a snowflake in summer. Why? Is Trump so obsessed with crowd sizes? So, why does crowd size matter so much to our former tweeter-in-chief? Is he trying to compensate for something? Insert small hands joke here. Or is it because, deep down, he knows he's about as popular as a skunk at a garden party? Bill Maher didn't pull any punches when he compared Trump's inauguration crowd lie to a toddler's fib. He said it's like watching a kid with crumbs all over their face where they didn't touch the cookie jar. It's so obvious it's almost cute if it wasn't, the President of the United States doing it. And just when you thought Trump couldn't possibly outdo his inauguration crowd-size fib, he goes and proves us all wrong. Trump and the Frederick Douglass disaster. Remember learning about Frederick Douglass in school? Well, apparently, Trump missed that day. and the last 130 years of American history. During a Black History Month speech in 2017, Trump decided to give old Freddie D a shout-out. He proclaimed, "Frederick Douglass is an example of somebody who's done an amazing job and is being recognized more and more. Mr. President, I hate to break it to you, but Frederick Douglass has been 6 feet under since 1895. Bill Maher, never one to miss an opportunity, jumped on this historical hiccup faster than you can say, coffee for," he quipped. I guess nobody told Trump that the famous abolitionist hasn't been around for, about 130 years. The reaction was priceless. Social media exploded with memes. Suddenly, Frederick Douglass was the hottest zombie since The Walking Dead. People joked that Trump probably thought Douglass was hanging out with Elvis and Tupac at some secret club for not-so-dead celebrities. Maybe they were all sipping on some of that hamburgers Trump is always tweeting about. Trump's team, in their infinite wisdom, tried to clarify the situation. But let's be real. Trying to explain Trump's words is like trying to nail Jell-O to a wall. It's messy, pointless, and you just end up looking silly. Their attempts to smooth things over only made it worse. It was like watching your drunk uncle try to dance at a wedding. Awkward, painful, and hard to look away from. The criminal charges and Trump's never-ending excuses, and then, of course, we get to the legal troubles. Trump was trying to get someone to violate their oath. He faces 2 counts of conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree, 2 counts of conspiracy to commit false statements and writings, and multiple other charges. But his defense? Oh, you know the drill. He's being treated unfairly. It's all a witch hunt. Blah, blah, blah. The most ridiculous part, Trump suddenly pretending to care about dogs. Let's be clear. Trump hates dogs. He's the only US president in modern history who didn't have one in the White House. But now, he's using dogs as some bizarre political metaphor. It's like watching someone who's never owned a pet suddenly try to act like an animal lover. Bill Maher pointed out that Trump's entire campaign is now based on delusions, conspiracy theories, and Facebook memes. This is what his supporters are rallying behind. Pure insanity. The bottom line, Trump's alternate reality Maher wasn't about to let this slide as just another oopsie moment from Trump. He made it clear, this isn't just a simple gaffe. This is a full-on display of Trump's lack of basic historical knowledge. It's like Trump's brain is playing a game of historical Jenga, and someone just pulled out the 19th century block. But hey, let's not be too hard on Donny Diapers. Maybe in his world Frederick Douglass is still alive and kicking. Maybe he thinks all those statues in Washington, D.C. are just really committed street performers. This whole debacle got people wondering, what other historical figures does Trump think are still alive? Is he waiting for Abraham Lincoln to show up at his next rally? Does he think Susan B. Anthony is out there campaigning for him? At this point, nothing would surprise us.